Shalom friends, welcome to Jewish Holiday Reactions. On today's episode, the Hanukkah story. It is the perfect holiday if you're a person who's interested in both guerrilla warfare and or deep-fried foods. Let me tell you the story. The year is 168 BCE. Judea has been annexed by the Syrian-Greek Seleucid Empire. King Antiochus IV was a regular little Aegon II, in that nobody really liked him and I don't recognize his authority. Now at the time, the Jewish people were severely divided in opinion. I know, that is indeed truly shocking. I mean, we've always agreed on everything, before and since. Some Jews were down to explore a more Hellenistic lifestyle, but the other side was, shall we say, vehemently anti-assimilationist. That might have been a bit of an understatement from me because we're talking like real Civil War material right there. Antiochus was like, well, let's expedite this process, shall we? Let's get this party started. He essentially outlawed practicing Judaism. Then he desecrated the temple in Jerusalem by putting an altar to Zeus in there and sacrificing a pig. Another one of Antiochus's hobbies, besides traumatic redecorating choices, was martyring people who weren't giving up Judaism. For example, that's where the very upsetting story of Hannah and her 7 sons comes from. They were all gruesomely unalived one by one in truly terrible ways for refusing to worship an idol. When I say truly terrible ways, I mean that both Vlad the Impaler and Ramsay Bolton would have been like, whoa, this is a bit much even for us. We're gonna leave. In other words, the situation was pretty dire. Now, there was a Kohen, a priest, called Matisyahu. One day, one of the Seleucid flunkies ordered Matisyahu to sacrifice to the Greek gods. Matisyahu was like, bitch, please, I don't cooperate with my oppressors. However, another Jewish person volunteered to do the sacrifices, which is a choice he regretted immediately. Because Matisyahu was a big believer in equal opportunity fundamentalism. He murked both the Seleucid henchperson and the Jewish Hellenist. Yeah, he had just sent a very strong message. After this dramatic and gory incident, Matisyahu and his 5 sons fled to the ice planet of Hoth to establish their rebel base. I mean, the hills of Judea, to establish their rebel base. Yes, that's what I meant. They were called the Maccabees. The word Maccabee may come from the Hebrew phrase Mi kamocha be'elim Hashem, who is like you, O God, although another explanation is that it comes from a Hebrew word for hammer. The Maccabees and their growing Judean army begin to fight back. Didn't matter to them that they were up against overwhelming odds. They had a Hulk. They had Hashem. When Matisyahu passed away, his son Yehuda HaMaccabee, Judah Maccabee, took over as leader. The Maccabees largely relied on guerrilla warfare tactics. Although greater in number and better equipped than the Jewish fighters, the Syrian-Greek army kept having its ass handed to it, battle after battle. How embarrassing for them. The Maccabee down was so emphatic that the Maccabees were able to liberate Jerusalem and the temple in 164 BCE. But the temple had been trashed. It needed a lot of work. The Jews threw the idols right into the garbage. They deep cleaned everything. They Lysoled it to smithereens. And on the 25th of the Jewish month of Kislev, they rededicated the temple. However, there was a little bit of a problem in that while they had a lot of Lysol, apparently, they did lack any ritually pure olive oil. And they really needed that olive oil in order to light the 7-branched ritual lamp, the menorah, in the temple. Finally, they found a very small sealed bottle in one of those countertop skincare fridges belonging to a deceased Seleucid soldier. There's no reason why your skincare can't battle the signs of aging while you are battling rebel soldiers. It's called multitasking. Anyway, that small container of olive oil was only technically enough to light the menorah for 1 night. But there was a miracle, and it lasted for 8 nights. While Jerusalem had been liberated, it took years and years of fighting for the Maccabees to fully drive the Seleucid army out of the land entirely. So after hundreds of years of Persian or Greek rule, the Maccabees ushered in a period of Jewish independence in Judea with a Hasmonean dynasty. That dynasty didn't end up so great, but that's beyond the scope of the holiday and this video. To commemorate the miracle of the olive oil, Jews celebrate Hanukkah for 8 nights. Each night, we add another candle or oil wick into the Hanukkah menorah and place it at a doorway or in a window to shine out into the darkness. The miracle of the oil is why the cuisine of the holiday is primarily fried foods. Donuts. Those of us who are truly devout will only speak in vocal fry during this time. Hanukkah is often called the Festival of Lights. But due to all the other aspects of the story, my personal preference has always been to call it the Festival of Fights. Happy Hanukkah, everybody. Now go eat something fried.